Hello everyone, my name is Sark and welcome back to another figure review. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the variable action heroes Nami from One Piece, of course. This one is a figure that I saw on pre-order a while ago, and I was like, it looks nice. I need to have it. But then I got it, and I completely saw that it was completely out of scale with the SH Figuarts line. So, yeah, there's that. I might be able to work it out. So, let's just take her out and see how she looks. Alright, so here we have the action variables Nami, and my god, is she beautiful. So, in terms of the actual stature of this figure, the height for her is around 6.5 inches, which is quite tall for a figure. So she technically is not a 6-inch figure. She's a little bit higher than that, a little bit taller than that. Just to give you a point of reference, here is the Romance Dawn Luffy. Now, actually, that doesn't look too far off, if I recall correctly. I haven't really watched the anime itself. Let me see real quick. Okay, so I'm back. I just checked a couple of reference images, and actually, I think this one could fit pretty decently with your SH Figuarts. I actually don't think there's an issue. I know Luffy is quite a short person as well, so it makes the most sense. She might be a tad bit too tall, but I actually don't think that's too much of an issue. So, in terms of height, I actually think this one would fit perfectly until Tamashii or any other company does a Nami figure like this with her boobs out and everything like that. So, yeah. Overall, in terms of the aesthetic for this figure, she has a really nice sort of like airbrushing with a hint of orange throughout the entire body, as well as the jeans are fairly nicely painted. There's a nice gradients from like denim blue to very bright. Jesus, that's super bright. There you go, that's much better, much more visible. So it's really nicely done for this figure at all throughout the entire thing. And also the hair has some gradients here and there. Overall, I think the paint job for this figure is actually phenomenal. It is not that much of an expensive figure. I think it was around $80. So overall, pretty good paint job for an $80 figure. I actually don't dislike it. Now, in terms of the articulation, this is a whole new figure line that I have no idea how it works, but I'm pretty sure it's the usual stuff. Even the face has some gradients there. Really nice. So it's a ball hinge that seems to work decently enough. So let's see how that works with everything put together. So looking down, she can look down about that far. Not the most, but upwards not too much either because of the actual hair. The hair does have a sort of swivel piece if you want to use that, although I don't think it's not going to help you that much. She can look side to side a little bit with the issue of the hair being there, and there's the copyright information as well. So in terms of the head, not the greatest. For the arms, she can definitely go further ahead than a T-pose, which is absolutely amazing. Yeah, you have the joints here, but what can you do? You can't really hide those without like messing up the sculpt. Butterfly joints, she has pretty amazing butterfly joints. This is insane. Like, you can cross her arms as well. You have to put her above her boobs, but at the same time, that's pretty nice. She has no bicep swivel, which is fine. I don't care. I think that's valid. And then a single jointed elbow, which for her design, it works. So I see no issue whatsoever. And of course, a hand hinge wrist wrist hinge. There you go. That's what I was looking for. For the ab crunch, she can look down about that far using the abs and the actual sort of chest up here. And so that's actually pretty decent range. And looking backwards, if you move the hair a little bit, it's pretty decent. Not the most astonishing in terms of articulation already, but it works fine enough. For the legs, that can happen. So that's one issue I see with this figure. It doesn't have the greatest attachment to the legs itself. So if you were to push the legs all the way into a split position, the actual legs themselves are going to push away the sculpt of the torso. And you can't attach it because the peg is too short. That is one of those issues about it. So unless you want to put a sticky tack inside of there, you're gonna not get the most range with the legs in terms of splits. So there's that. So it's about this far without pushing it. So I can definitely push it a little more, but then it does that. So again, just as a cautionary thing, don't push them out too far. You'll get about this much range with the splits. For kicking forward, again, still does the exact same thing. Not really happy with this. Although they are supposed to be drop down hips. Yeah, so they're drop down hips. So it helps it a little bit, but not too much. She can kick forward about that much without having to pop it, with popping it. I can't pop it back in without having to fix this. So let me do that. So kicking forward about that much, that is horrible. Backwards this much, that's bad too. Single jointed knee, and of course a foot hinge. And no, oh no, there is a toe hinge as well. That's actually a pretty nice toe hinge, not too bad. But articulation, it's very questionable. They definitely could have done some different things here and there. They could have extended the jeans a little bit, or the pelvis area just a tad bit, or even made the peg a tad bit longer and changed the sculpt underneath the actual torso. But she doesn't move that much, which is definitely a bummer because she has some amazing accessories that we'll take a look at those right now. Alright, so while this figure sort of lacks in the articulation department, she does sort of bring it back over here in the accessory department. She kind of evens out right here because she has some amazing accessories that I wish other companies were doing as well. And the thing about all of these accessories is that they're painted beautifully. The face sculpts, we have a regular smiling face sculpt looking forward, which is probably the one that I'll be using for my display, but it has some nice airbrushing, or I would say airbrushing throughout the surrounding or around the entire face sculpt, which is really nice. That's something that you normally don't see. We have sort of a shouting face sculpt right here, sort of angry right there. And then of course a winking faceplate, which is really nice. Again, paint job is immaculate. We have a pointing left hand that has the nails painted, and again, all of these have some nice gradients between the actual skin tone and some paint application, although some of them are heavy-handed, like this one right here. You can definitely see that. So and then also comparing these two hands together, you can definitely see one of them was out in the sun a little bit longer than the other, so there is that. But besides that, she actually has some amazing accessories. She has, well, amazing, yeah, I would say amazing. Okay hand, I don't know why I blanked. Relaxed hands. Well, they're sort of like posing hands, I don't know. These two hands are very similar. These are definitely more relaxed hands. And then, of course, the hands to hold her staff, which is really nice. Very nice that they do that. Her staff is pretty long. It's taller than her, so that's insane. And then, of course, we have some effects for the stand, some lightning, and some sort of wind effects, dust effects. I don't know what is wrong with me, but moving on to my final thoughts, I think this figure is fine. Although she has a lot of issues, in my opinion, with the actual articulation, with the head not really moving too much, and also the lower midsection popping off consistently. That is one of the downsides of this figure. So if you were to get this figure, I would say be on the lookout for that, or just be careful when you're handling her. Again, it's a good figure. I just don't think is necessary. I know Variable Action Heroes are reissuing a bunch of the One Piece line and have been doing that for the recent year, but with SH Figuarts sort of chugging along with the line itself, I would suggest to sort of stick with one. And once I get the Romance Dawn Nami, I'm gonna do a sort of side-by-side comparison video with these two to see who you should be going for. So yeah, overall, I'm gonna give this figure a 7 out of 10. It would have been lower, but the accessories really do make up for it. It would have been a 6 in just the action, the figure itself. But with the accessories, it does bring her up a point. Overall, I think she's a good figure with amazing accessories, lackluster articulation, but that's pretty much it. That's all the time I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think about this figure in itself. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Are you going to get it just to fulfill a Nami in your One Piece collection? If not, that's fine. If you are, I would love to know. Besides that, I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.